Welcome back to the next episode of Helix Amps Revisited, where I go back and take a look at some of my favorite amps that I've done videos about in the past and that I have Line 6 Marketplace presets available for. Today, I'm going to be giving you a free preset. There'll be a link down below to my website where you can grab that. This is going to be a similar little snippet of my full Line 6 Marketplace US Princess Ultimate preset, which is a full-featured multi-snapshot with a full array of effects dialed in for live, for studio, and it sounds just amazing. It's one of my favorite presets. I use it all the time for many musical situations, and I've got a lot of great feedback from it. So the links will be below. It's available actually for Helix and stripped-down versions for HX Stomp and Pod Go, and the links will be below. But the free preset is going to be kind of a little tiny preview of that full-blown preset without all the effects and dialed in slightly different. So that's what I can give you today. We're going to dive in, take a look at this amazing amp. I believe it was with firmware 3.0, which was a pretty major upgrade for the Helix, that this amp was introduced, and there was a real buzz around it. And I really do think it might just be the best Fender style amp we have in the Helix. I always tend to kind of go back to it, although there's so many great Fender style amps in there, but this is definitely a top contender and sounds incredible. So without further ado, let's head over to HX Edit and see what I've done with this and see if you like this preset. And like I said, you can go grab either the free one or head on over to the Line 6 Marketplace and grab the full featured presets at the links below. All right, so here we are over in HX Edit. We'll take a quick run through. Here is the amp, but as usual, I have at the end of my chain, I have my LA Studio comp set with the peak reduction of 5, gain at 5, mixes at 100%. It basically just going to be an always on kind of effect, as I've mentioned a million times, just to add a little bit of glue at the end of the chain. And I just like the way that this kind of polishes the sound. It's set only for a couple dB of gain reduction. We'll turn that off for now. I do have an EQ block in here. It's really only being used for the low and high cut. So, I mean, I guess you could incorporate that into your cabs if you wanted to, although it's a little bit of a different EQ slope for there, but this is fine, works great. I like to have the parametric EQ in here, even if I'm not using it, in case there's ever a situation where I need to tweak a frequency. I don't have to go add a block and figure that out. I can just come in and make the tweaks I need. So that's going to be set for our high and low cuts. I'll turn that off. I have surprisingly a plate reverb on with the decay at 3.5, pre-delay at 15 milliseconds, low cut at 90 hertz, high cut 4.6 kilohertz, 28% on the mix, and we'll turn that off. I really always like to have some sort of reverb on direct recorded tones, as it just helps to bring them to life a little bit. The low and high shelf, I have them set, as I often do, with the low frequency and high frequency, both at 650 hertz. All the frequencies below 650 are going to be taken back by 3 dB. All the frequencies above are going to be boosted by 3 dB. And I found that really kind of polished this sound further and made it more mix ready, whether we're talking studio or live. I went with a dual cab in this situation. I know a lot of people might say, why'd you use the split blocks? And why don't you just use a dual cab block? Well, sometimes I find it easier just to be able to blend them with this split AB path. And you'll see that I have this to B40, which is sending more of the signal basically to this cab so that this is the predominant sound we hear. So this one here is on a 110 US Princess cab with a 47 condenser FET microphone on the cap edge, 2 inches back, 0 degrees on the angle. And that's kind of, like I said, the loudest of the two cabs, but I do have a second cab I'm blending in there, which is a 112 US Deluxe, with the mic being a 121 ribbon on that. Again, cap edge on the position, pulling that back 4 inches on the distance, angle still at 0 degrees. And that brings us to the amp. We have our drive setting of 7. We have our bass setting of 4, mids at 10. We have our treble at 5, presence at 0, channel volume at 8.5, master at 10, and sag, hum, ripple, bias, X, all the deeper functions stay at 5. So we've turned all this extra sweetening off. We're going to take a listen to just how this amp with these settings sounds through these cabs with this blend. I'm using my Vigier Expert Strat style guitar. I really love this with the Strat, but as you'll hear later, I'm going to play you a in the mix demo of my Helix US Princess Ultimate preset, which isn't going to be this exact preset. It's going to be I think a little nicer than this. It's going to have a full array of effects, multiple snapshots, but you'll get to hear how it actually works with humbucker pickups. It works beautifully as well. So this is what this sounds like just with the amp and the two cabs in the manner that I chose the mics and blended them. And this is on the bridge pickup for now. Kind of tubby in the low end, a little bit of low mid mud. but it does have something nice to it. So let's do this. Let's go to the end of the chain. We'll engage the compressor. Just adding a little squish to the sound in a way that I like it. We'll come in and we'll add our high and low cuts with the parametric block. You're not going to notice massive differences yet. Bring our reverb in. The plate reverb, I kind of liked what it was doing here. All right, but still got that muddy tubbiness. And the secret weapon here is going to be this low and high shelf EQ where I pull all those frequencies below 650 down by 3 dB. And that's really going to clean up that bottom end, tighten it up, clean out some of that mud. And at the same time, go into those frequencies above 650 and boost them by 3 dB. It's going to add some clarity and clean up this tone and polish it to a point where it's going to sound really nice. Here it is before. Here it is after. They even go to the neck pickup now. Middle position. Back to the bridge. And there's our final tone. So as I mentioned, feel free to go to the link below to my website, grab a free copy of that preset and use it, tweak it however you feel necessary to get it sounding exactly how you need it to with your guitar and your monitoring system. If you want a more full-featured, dialed in even a little bit better for live and studio use, you can hit the links below to the Line 6 Marketplace where I have versions of this for the Helix, for HX Stomp, and for Pod Go. And if you wonder what any of those sound like, I'm going to play you a demo video of how these tones work in a mix with absolutely no post-processing after the fact. So that's what this is going to sound like. What did you guys think of that? So you got to hear that with a guitar with humbucker pickups also. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, the free preset is below at the link. There's also links to the marketplace if you want the full featured presets. And I think you'll enjoy them very much. Thank you guys so much for sharing your time with me. I really hope that that was enjoyable. And please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. And also please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Ciao for now.